So, every human being always has this sense of nostalgia. It could be with high school, it could be with the good old days when they were younger, or it can just range from a lot of things. Like with Call of Duty fans, it's the older Call of Duties. But for me, nostalgia kind of consumes who I am. And if you're someone like me who's kind of super sensitive to certain things, it hits you right in the heart because you just you're so harsh on yourself for little things that happened in the past. For me, gaming has always been this gateway that kind of saved me from venturing off into enjoying the real world. Throughout middle school and throughout my summers, I'd play video games all day. Call of Duty all morning and then all night. And I'm going to be honest in saying I regret doing that. And the reason I did do that was because of the way just what I had to kind of, I guess you could say, deal with growing up and not being to have so much freedom because of home life and, you know, being a little scared to venture out and, not feeling good about myself. It's kind of this idea that nostalgia can be a bad thing because when I look back at a lot of things, and I mean a lot, high school, and I know it's only been a year, but even throughout high school, it's always been me focusing on the things that I didn't do instead of me focusing on the things that I did do. And I was a late bloomer to high school, and it wasn't until my senior year that I kind of allowed myself to grow out of my shell and to kind of experience what being a kid had to offer, and it was too late. I did my first musical, and I loved being a part of it. Looking back, I'd do it again. I liked my school dances, and I skipped my sophomore year dance because I let some girl ruin it for me, and I regret that. And there's just so many other things I could list off that it makes me really realize that when you grow up, you gotta take chances. And me being in college now and seeing how fast college is going by and freaking out over how I'm not gonna leave college with any debt or if I'm making the right decisions. Back then in high school, which it seems forever ago now, and middle school, it's it's a time where life was just very simple. And I took that for granted. You know, the adults would always tell us, take your time, do as much as you can because you're going to regret it. And they were right. And it's something I do regret. And the same thing goes for video games. Nostalgia is what makes us who we are in the long run. And our experience define who we become and who we are. When I play Call of Duty, I stay loyal to this franchise because of what Call of Duty has done for me growing up. I was bullied, had really not that many friends. I mean, I had a few friends, but I never really hung out with them as much. And at school, I just felt alone and I felt outcasted and I felt that way at home as well. And Call of Duty was just this escape where I could forget about the real world and just come online and game, have fun with these online friends. And all those memories I miss. And I miss just the good old days where life was just so much more simple. And maybe it's a feeling that will eventually fade away when I'm older. But as of right now, it's something that I just can't forget about. And when I think about it, it's just I made so many mistakes that I just want to redo. I want to go back and I want to do over. But that's not how life works. So the meaning of this commentary is for anyone who's listening and has made it this far that don't be afraid to do things. Don't be afraid to be someone who you want to be. Especially if you're going through that middle school, high school time period. If you're someone who is questioning whether or not to go to homecoming because you don't have a date or because some guy or girl is going to ruin that actually isn't going to, but did ruin the idea of you going to have fun, still go. Mingle. Have fun. Those are the nights that you're going to want back, that you're going to wish that you would have went like I do. If you see something that you're scared to attempt or scared to do, give it a shot, because the worst thing you can do is end up not liking it. There's just so many possibilities that you can do throughout life. And if you have those choices, if you have those times where you can go do something that's for you incredible, or just something that honestly makes you think that I'm going to regret this if I don't do this in the future, go do it. And nostalgia is something that you'll keep with you forever. Like I said, it's going to affect you in the long run, not in the short run. In the short run, you're going to be like, oh my god, yeah, that was cool, and it's something that, yeah, I won't think about when I'm older. But for me, with all these memories, and maybe it's just because I'm an emotional wreck deep inside, but all these memories, they just make me who I am. And I want anyone who's listening to this to have memories that help them strive and help them build into a character that they can enjoy in the future. Because that's honestly what matters in the end. Think of life as a time capsule. That every moment you do in the end will come back. Whether it's for the good or the bad. And when you're older, you will open that time capsule and you're going to reflect on all the moments that you did. So don't miss out on all the opportunities that you could have because you're too scared to go after them. And that just kind of wraps this all up.